Everything's loading. Okay, we should be officially live now.
Yep.
Alright, I do have to send the link to my brother really quick, so...
Also, we need to get to the starting soon screen. We're on the other one.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. There we go. Cool.
How do I send this link to my brother? I feel like an old lady.
If it's on the phone, there's always
On my tablet.
Okay, well then, there should be like a little
share. I see.
Yeah. So it's a few of the homes that are.
La, 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 da, 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 da. Can you hear yourself okay in the stream, by the way?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
I'll put you up.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my headphones and listen to them. Yeah, we're good.
Is it bad that I kind of want to put lo-fis in the background, but I don't know if that's gonna mess up your editing? Probably, huh?
What did you want to put in background?
Some lo-fis.
I mean, we can.
I don't know. Is that gonna copyright anything?
I know a lot of lo-fi isn't copyrighted.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put some lo-fis in the background then.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I was gonna put some chill beats, lo-fis. Oh my god, that's too loud.
I can't.
I am so sorry. I think that's fine. Okay. Okay. Ready to start? Awesome saucers. Okay. Loading. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say anything, that's fine. Alright. Where is my new scene? There it is. Oh, that's not it. Oops, sorry. This is my new scene, guys. My bad. My apologies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dear Diary podcast. It is your lovely host, Zuzu, Zuli, whatever you want to call me. And my co-host today that's joining me is...
Hello, my name is Brombus.
aka Thomas.
aka Thomas.
aka Thomas.
All having a wonderful time.
So today only Thomas is joining me. So this segment that we're calling it today is called Mission Fail or Failed Mission. I'm not for sure. Either one of those. Unfortunately, our first episode was I wouldn't say like a flop. I really loved it, enjoyed it. But somebody, aka me, forgot to hit record. So we do not have any recordings of that at all. And I feel so terrible. And I don't know. Maybe it's just not meant to be. That was the first time that was supposed to go off. Maybe this is the first time the first episode should be. But yeah, today's episode is called Mission Fail. And we're gonna do a lot of, I think there's a couple of segments we're gonna do of Judgment Pending, and there's gonna be a lot of stories of people talking about let me see, like how they chased after their dreams, but they actually failed their dreams and then they're doing something else. So I think that's pretty crazy, and I think that really tags in what happened to me. Basically, this has always been my dream of doing like a podcast or just hanging out with friends or whatever. And I don't know, I'm just like really happy, and I nurtured this a lot. So I'm trying not to get emotional. But yeah, and most likely it's only going to be me and Thomas. My other two co-hosts will be joining in the future whenever they can. I know for sure, I believe Connor's joining us, I believe next week, or it might be Noodles. We have our own schedules and all that, so I totally understand. But yeah, you want to say anything, Thomas?
Uh, I know that me and you have put in a lot of work on this, and it's really nice to see that it is all working. That's the biggest part that I'm really excited about. And um, hopefully this all goes well. Let's just have a good time with it. We're here to the app.
Yeah, honestly, it's just we literally had to scratch the whole like Roblox thing. I really wanted Roblox to work because I think it's so silly and goofy, and I think the really popular thing is like Roblox and all that. So I was like, oh, I was really hoping, but we kept getting like not copyright, but like warnings and strikes of like the way we were talking and all that. And I was like, oh my god, we can't even say nothing at all. Like it just felt too much. So honestly, this is really nice how we just came up with this. Our other backup was actually gonna be what is it called? What was it, Thomas? VTuber.
Uh,
V
G-
our V chat?
PNG.
No, 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 no. VR chat. Do you remember that? We were gonna actually do VR
Oh
chat.
yeah.
Yeah. So we were thinking about doing VR chat, but then we were just like, I don't know. I think that's just like, what if we end up getting kicked out from there too? So now we just ended up doing this, what we have now. And I hope everyone loves it. I think it's cute. Hopefully next week you guys will see me with glasses on, so that would be even cuter. I'm just trying to communicate with the artist right now about that. And then Thomas, obviously, he's a little monkey, so cute, blue with headphones. Really represents his personality. Love that. Let's see. I guess now we can just go right into it, right? To
Yeah.
Judgment Pending. All right. Oh, before I go to Judgment Pending, I just want to say that we are looking for people that want to like write stories for a segment that I really want to do. It's called Hot Mess Hotline, and you basically come in and just talk about your story. You talk about something that happened to you, or you can say like, "Hey guys, am I the asshole for this and that?" or whatever the case might be. It can be like a cute little like gossipy kind of like segment. And I would appreciate if you guys can write in either at our Gmail, or you can guys write in our Discord and all that. It would be very cute and fun. Just let us know. We're looking for people. Okay, going to now the segment Judgment Pending. So, this one is the whole Reddit thing. It says basically ask Reddit, and it said people who pursued their dreams and failed. What is your stories and what do you regret it? So this is one of the stories. Hold on. Some of the stories are actually really short. So for example, one of the stories it says my dream was to be an English professor. I love literature, I loved academic life, and it just felt natural. After I did so well in both undergrad and grad school, after I got my master's degree, I spent 2 years trying to get into a good PhD program, but I couldn't get in anywhere. I was crushed. I spent 2 years after that in a crappy job, which made me feel even worse about the whole thing. I've since gotten a much better job. I haven't regretted not continuing my academic career ever since I found out how nice it has wait what? Now oh my god. How nice it has to have money. The perspective of spending 4 years plus being poor to maybe get a tender position with a starting salary around what I make now has lost its appeal. I'm proud of the work I did on my master's thesis and I learned a ton, but I can't continue to learn about literature without uprooting my life. So that's one of them. Which to me, honestly, what do you think about that, Thomas?
Honestly, this is a story of just like,
Oh, you're too far away from the mic, I think.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Hello?
My brain died for a second. My apologies.
You're fine. I was like, hello? I thought my stream crashed. I was like, hello? No,
No.
it's funny. You want me to go?
Yes, go for it. I
Okay.
need to rethink my thoughts.
Okay. So basically, I don't blame that person. If you feel like you're making good money, okay, this is what kind of sucks when you go after your dreams, right? Let's say that you go after your dreams and the payout is not great, right? And you just end up with so much like student debt, especially since they were trying to get a PhD and they have their masters already. They're in so much debt that's like, I need to get a job now so I can start paying off my my debt basically. And now they're saying like I literally have a good job, a good well-paying job, even better if I go back to school for like literature and all that, which is really sad because it's like, wow, you can't get better pay when you did so much schooling. I think that's just like the saddest part, but it's just sometimes it's just life. Sometimes you just have to have like a better options, unfortunately. But I don't know, maybe there's just like different outcomes you can do. You can definitely become a professor for literature, or maybe do your own blog or something like that, or whatever the case might be. Thomas.
Okay. Piggybacking on what you piggybacking on what you said. It is unfortunate that, you strived for this and you worked so hard, and then in order to pay off all of that debt, you tried something else and this ended up paying you a lot more. And I feel like that would discourage a lot of people from, moving. The greatest hindrance on people pursuing what they want to do is comfortability in, like, in that safety of, like, I have a good paying job. And for the most part, it stops a lot of people from going back there, because it's like, why would I give this up to pursue it again since it's already caused me so much trouble? And it's unfortunate, but like you said, it is just life and you just kind of have to roll with the punches. I hope this person does, once things kind of subside and whatnot, and try it again, but only time will tell.
They're going to another story right now. One of the people wrote in Reddit was, it's really short, okay, but basically it says, went to video game design college because I wanted to make video games. Quickly became apparent that the industry is extremely cutthroat and is no such thing as a job security or work/life balance. I quit after a year. still paying off the student loan 6 years later. Ooh, that is so sad. Like, imagine. I think everyone. It used to be my dream. I want to say, like, I want to do video game design and all that. And, like, I was really in tune with my artsy era. But I think in reality, like, years. I don't know. You hear stories, right? Allegedly stories. I don't know if you remember, like, Overwatch and all that, how they treat their employees and all that.
Hmm.
Like Blizzard, how they treat them. And it's just sad to me that I'm like, wow, like, such a potential good platform, like big company Blizzard, an example, and they just treat their employees like dirt or just very replaceable. And it's just sad to me. I don't know. It's just scary because imagine just feeling like that, like replaceable, or one fuck up thing you do and then you're gone. I don't know.
So what I have to say, Matt,
Mhm.
a lot of the art and creation based jobs are very oversaturated, specifically um video game design and another thing of like animation. It's very oversaturated to the point where a lot of these big companies, although it's not right, have leeway in what they can do to their employees because I mean, to a lot of people it's a chance of a lifetime to work at a lot of these companies. So it's just kind of like using the notion of you can be replaced by next week gives them a lot of leeway to do work them longer or criticize a lot of their work more or things of that nature that for the most part is just not okay. But since the companies and the industry, I should say, is so oversaturated by people who want to do it, a lot of people just take it and they deal with the consequences and whatnot. And a lot of people can't do it.
Right.
And it is unfortunate that, he got the short end of the stick here and is still paying off those loans. That's the biggest thing. Is like I think the common consensus with a lot of these stories of like I went to school for this thing, I didn't want to do it, and now I have to pay the repercussions, like sometimes decades worth of paying off, for an idea that just didn't work. That's what is the scariest part about doing that. But I still don't think I don't think people should stop doing it. But it is the risk that people take every day when they want to do something with like something that they want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
But that's what I have to say on that story.
How do you always end it? But that's my two hot takes. No. What do you say? Oh,
What do
I
I wait?
digress.
But I digress.
But
How
I
did you
digress.
forget?
I don't know. I was just like thinking about it. I was like, what do he always says? And my brain was just flatlining right now. Yeah. I digress. I digress.
but I digress.
I digress. Okay. We can do maybe two more stories or maybe one more story. And this is actually pretty interesting because I have no idea from this perspective at all. I never really thought about it. Like it's kind of sad. I seen movies about it, but I have not like have any friends or anything like that that are actually in this kind of in this
Industry.
industry. Yeah, English. So it says, I was trained to be a ballerina since I was 3, and it was all I wanted. I had almost hit 10 years mark when I started middle school. I was at a studio every day, taking palettes and dieting and hanging around as an understudy, competing for even the smallest dancing parts. What happened was I was almost 13 and I started junior high. I had to make the choice between ballet or being a teenager. This was around the time my weight was being monitored and I was getting into bulimia. Yeah. It's a very sensitive topic, guys. That's something the Lifetime channel doesn't exaggerate. I gave it up because I just couldn't take the heat. I know, pathetic, but like I said, I was 13 and I was trying to fill out all the loose that stick thin ballerina shape. I was becoming more interested in having friends and being a snotty nosed little punk. The commitment was huge. The thing that really made up my mind was this: ballerinas are the worst. Stereotypically stuck up and prissy. The real prima ballerinas at the studios could be straight up inhuman. I once read that it's because their outrageous training leaves them little time to develop social skills and empathy. The amount of the backbiting and sabotaging that went on, look loose consume straps and throwing toe shoes in the dumpster. Let's just say it was awkward 13-year-old nightmare. I signed up for marching band and thus end that chapter of my life. I try not to regret that decision too much, seeing as my weight is healthy and I am not a sociopath. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. I'm like, I always thought like ballerinas were nice, or I guess it makes sense. Like, they have to keep their figure. They're not eating, so they're upset. I don't know, but that's pretty sad. But you know, good for
Yeah.
her. Good for her, honestly,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
for like deciding to be living a childhood, you know? And the thing is, she can always go back if she really wanted to, you know? But I don't know. I might be wrong. Maybe once you're done kind of thing. I don't have no idea.
I
But
believe that's the case.
yeah, it sounds like it.
For the thing, so like for these kind of like professions that you have to keep a certain look to you, you have to be a certain way, be this proper stone-like picture for the audience. A lot of those types of industries, you pretty much start when you're young, like modeling, like ballerina, like um stuff that your body and the way that you look dictates how far you'll go.
Mm-hmm.
And once you stop, it's really hard to get back into it because you're not up to those standards anymore. So, more or less, I don't think so, but more or less, you let yourself go to the point where they don't want you no more.
Right.
So, it's either you're in or you're out. And that's what a lot of industries have. And
Mm-hmm.
it's also really hard for people who, like, oh, you've already left. Well, this person's been here their whole life since she was a child. I'm choosing her and not the person who's washed up.
Right.
In a sense, and that creates a kind of a trap for a lot of people, and that's what causes a lot of people in that industry to lack that empathy, lack what it needs to be, and just be more upset and more sad individuals because they gave up their childhood for it.
Mm-hmm.
like another comparison is like childhood stars for like TV and movies.
Oh, you're actually
Like
onto something.
their their whole life has been in front of a camera while people are looking at them and they need to act a certain way. So they lose the ability of being able to make mistakes as a child, so they now make mistakes as adults. And that's what you see a lot in Hollywood, of like a lot of these older people are like people who are like kid stars doing terrible things or doing drugs or anything like that, right?
Right. Like Miley.
Because Mm-hmm.
They went
Because
ham on her.
mm-hmm. Because they didn't have a childhood to do those things. They didn't have a childhood to, like, make those mistakes and be a kid. They were always seen as an object for people's entertainment. And that's the same thing with things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Honestly, I mean, I don't mean to sound naive at all, but I really have no idea. Like, I never really experienced this kind of thing part of my life. But I guess it's like a done deal for them. But overall, I'm happy for her. She decided to live her best life as a child and not go down the route of future starvations and passing out or all these other things. But I don't know. I wouldn't say she failed or anything like that. If it just doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out, and
mm-hmm.
you just do other things in life.
It's just life.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should we go to our next segment? Because it's already going to be a 30-minute mark.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go ahead and go to our other segment, and that is. Hold on. I'm like skipping through Hot Miss Hotline. I'm like, oh. Again, guys, if you have any tea or any story time that you would like to talk about, for sure, message. Go ahead and leave your story if you want, or like message me like on Discord and all that about your story, because like, you know, we all like to hear the tea. So let's go ahead and enter Whisper Files segment, and let's do true crime. If I can find it.
It's right down.
I wrote a
here.
lot. Wrote a lot of notes.
I think it's down here. Found
Okay.
it. I found it.
Okay, yeah. It's on page what? 16.
18?
Oh.
16?
For me, it's 16.
Okay, cool. I was looking more at the.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be definitely page 17, but I just said it just starts at 16. But yeah, you can go ahead and do this one right here. Do you see this? Yeah.
Yes. So this story is.
Ooh, should I do spooky? Hold on. Right now, it was just like chill lo-fis and all that, but it's chill lo-fis and all that. And thank you, I love you too. I was reading the chat on the side. Love you.
Oh.
Let's do spooky lo-fis. Let's see. For this segment. Apparently this is spooky.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, everyone. Get nice and cozy for the story. Okay. Okay, tonight we're heading to a tiny farm in Germany in 1922. Picture it. Snow falling, a lonely house deep in the countryside, and 6 people who never make it out alive. This is the story of, and sorry if I butcher this, Hinterkaifeck.
You know, close enough.
Days before the murder, strange things started happening. Andreas Garber, the head of the household, found footsteps in the snow, coming from the woods leading to his farm, but some going back inside. The family swore they heard footsteps in the attic at night. A set of keys vanished. Newspapers showed up in the house that no one had brought. Their old maid, she had quit, saying the place was haunted. Then, March 31st, the killer strikes. One by one, Andreas, his wife, their daughter, Victoria, and little Katzilla are lured into a barn. Each of them killed with a pickaxe. After Later, inside the house, 2-year-old Yosef was murdered in his crib, and Maria, the new maid, on her very first day, was killed in her room. But there's a part that chills me the most. The killer didn't leave. They stayed. Neighbors saw smoke rising from the chimney in days after the cows were milked. The animals fed. Someone was eating meals in the same house as 6 dead bodies. Police interviewed more than 100 people, suspects ranging from jealous neighbors to vagrants to someone inside the family itself, but no one was ever charged. The farmhouse was torn down a year later, but the mystery still lingers. Who killed the Garbers of the Hinterkaifeck and why? I have a little tidbit about that.
Yeah, I do too. I actually did some heavy research about this. Um, Basically, when I was sorry, I don't mean to cut you off at all. By the way, I'm so sorry.
Go
I was
for
just
it. Go for
typing
it.
it. Honestly, when I was first reading the story of this true crime, I thought it was like very creepy. As in, they used to have an old maid, right? And this maid quit because they believed the house was haunted. They kept hearing like footsteps up in the attic, and the head household guy, the basically Andres, just goes up there every time, and there's literally nothing at all. So the maid got fed up with it, and she just ended up like completely leaving, just literally leaving. And a new maid came, and when that new maid came, she literally just died. Like, literally, day one, she died. Like, she started day one, she died day one. And I think that's so messed up. Imagine, oh my god, first day at work. Oh my god, I'm dead.
First day at work.
First day at work be like, no, it's really messed up. It's really messed up. And it's more painful that, like, they literally, she got murdered in her room as well. And then the baby, the youngest child, right? Because it's a total of 6 people that died. The youngest baby died in the crib. And then the other 4 were literally laying on top of a haystack, piled up next to each other, and just they're dead. And like, you can see that I think, I forgot who. I think it's like the youngest lady and the maid. You can actually see that. I think it's the maid, actually. It might be completely wrong. Sorry about that. But she actually had like like, she was like strangled, basically. Like, choked to death. Like, she was, so literally messed up. The other thing is that the younger daughter, I think her name is no, I don't think it's Victoria. It's the same name as the grandma, basically, Sylvia or something like that. She doesn't die right away. She actually stays alive for a couple hours while bleeding out to death. And she's just like pulling her hair. So like, when the cops end up coming, you literally see like she's bald on like half of her head or something like that, like maybe 1/4 of her head or something. And the police are just so devastated that like this child was literally alive for hours, and she's just picking at her hair, and she just ends up bald, and you literally see like her hands like with her hair. And it's just so sad that that's how she just ended up dying. Like, everyone else died really quickly, and then she just ended up suffering for hours. And obviously the other thing that's messed up is like, the person whoever did this was literally eating in the place. They were literally eating and like doing like chores for the farm. So this person has a history of like taking care of animals and farms and like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting of like, it has to be either the neighbors or someone that has a history of taking care of animals or farms like that. Cause like for 3 days straight, that's pretty crazy. I think another thing that I was reading into it of the case was I wanna, let me see. Let me read really quick. Another thing that I was looking at, and I thought it was pretty crazy as well. Oh, this is before. Okay, so it's, it's a small town, right? And to get, for the police, in order to get there, is like literally maybe like 45 minutes out, right? So the news, like the people in the town, the small town, they're basically like, oh, what, a murder happened, let's go investigate. So hundreds of people literally kept touching bodies of them. They kept like ruining the whole investigation. So that's why the police could not investigate at all, because there were so many fingerprints and everything touched all around that there was just no hardcore evidence at all. So it's just unfortunate. It literally was like, it was messed up. It was literally like, hey guys, look at the new attraction that happened. These people died. Let's go touch them. I think that's crazy. That's so crazy. This town is so bored or something. I don't know. That to me, that's crazy. And then now that it got, I think, I forgot when, but I think a couple years later they ended up knocking it down, the whole like place, right? They knocked it all down, and now it's just like what is it called? A monument, maybe? Basically like history, saying like, hey, this is what happened, this blah blah blah. So they just left it as that. So that's how it is till this day. Hello? Thomas?
Yes, I'm listening.
Oh, okay.
I'm listening.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. Like, it was really crazy when I was reading it in and all that.
I think for me, this is like very much of an old story, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe that the person that actually did it had to have been related
Mm-hmm.
to not related like as in blood, just related to one of the people, maybe the wife, maybe, um like all of them,
Right.
by any of them. And maybe he was down in his luck, because maybe he had some like pre-distinguished issues. The only reason why I say that is because he literally stayed in the house for a unpredetermined amount of time.
Right.
Um, from what I'm reading, I would say a good few weeks
It was three
just in
days.
the house. It was 3 days. Okay,
Yeah, it was 3 days.
that was it. Okay, 3 days. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's still crazy.
Yeah.
Like you got to be some real prime evil to just sit in a house with all those people that you've killed. Um. Also, I think it's also really unfortunate that it was the maid's first day on the job.
Right?
Um,
First day job be like, that's
First day
crazy.
job. Look at my
First day.
fit. My fit's crazy.
Fit.
And then
Slice.
dies.
Yeah.
And then also like the thing that he the thing that the murderer used is kind of cruel.
The
Because
pickaxe.
the pickaxe, I mean, it's not like a knife or like let's say a gun or something like that. It's more blunt than it is sharp. And that's why, like, let's say like the grandmother was still alive after the fact, because it's a very slow and painful death, getting
Right.
mauled by a pickaxe. It is sharp, but it is more, like I said, more dull than sharp, so it's going to like crush in more than just a single gunshot or something like that.
Right.
But I mean, this around this time, this is pretty normal of like people using tools or something like that for killings and whatnot. Um, what I don't get, I bet the maid was like, oh my god, the old maid, I think she was like, oh my god, I thank God I was gone.
Honestly, there was actually no statement about her at all. There's nothing at all. I'm like, dang. the The other maid just literally, she just dipped. She literally dipped, which I thought that was crazy because I was really trying to look for research of like what she had to say, but there was actually no indication at all what she said, like at all. I don't know. They did say 3 possible killers or suspects that they had was apparently Victoria. She was considered like a widow, but her man did not die. She was just like separated from her husband. But I guess the husband had some issues or something like that. And I guess like he tried to come back to her life, but she didn't want that kind of thing. I don't know. So people really thought that maybe the husband did it. Another thing that they thought another suspect was actually the neighbor. A neighbor is very familiar with obviously the resident, and like obviously like with the cows, the dogs, everything. They know everything, right? So they think it was one of the neighbors, because it was kind of suspicious that this neighbor ended up bringing 2 other neighbors to investigate the place. And basically they were like, yeah, that's kind of strange. Like, I never been here before, but you know what? It's actually this way, and actually I go this way. It was just kind of like suspicious a lot. That kind of segment of it. So that's what people thought, and then other people obviously thought it was probably just like a random killer that was just psycho or something like that, and they unfortunately couldn't catch them on time or anything. So those were like the heavy suspects that they had. And to be honest, I think the neighbor did it.
Crazy theory here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Crazy theory here. What if the maid that left, maybe she like was talking to someone about like, hey, this family's crazy, or maybe they mistreated her and she was just like, hey, kill this family. Maybe the man that was down in his luck was like, hired by the maid.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
then
crazy.
like the person, it was a random person, but the co-conspirator is the maid that left. Because I mean, she left, and then on the newest maid's first day, she got murdered. So I think her leaving to the new maid getting it wouldn't have been that long, right?
Right.
From my understanding. So I think that could be very much of a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, there wasn't really like as thorough of investigations as they are now. Like, it was pretty much up to chance if your murder would ever be found out at around this time, like early 1900s, right?
Right.
Because we didn't have the technology that we have now, like forensics and everything like that. Like, it was a lot harder to figure out who killed someone than it is now. So I think that's the whole reason of like why a lot of these like younger, like a lot older stories of like killings and whatnot, they never find out who did it, because either they didn't really put much work into it, or
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have the facilities to end up figuring it out. And a lot of these stories are figured out like decades and decades and decades later, when forensics did come out. And like a lot of the cold cases of like we couldn't figure out, since we didn't have forensics. When forensics came out, they did a lot of these cold cases and figured out who killed them and like who they were and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my 2 cents on that.
2 cents. Either way,
But I digress.
but I digress. Either way, yeah, it is a wild story. It's really crazy. I just thought, I don't know, when I first read the story, I feel like I haven't really heard about it. So I was like, you know what? Let's talk about this story. Let's talk about it. See what's going on. So yeah, it's one of those cases that unfortunately unsolved, and you know, send the prayers out to them, and hopefully they are up in the heavens. So, sending prayers. All right. So now, would you want to talk about conspiracy?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
I
okay,
feel like I
okay,
talk too much, so that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break.
okay. No worries, no worries. So the like thing we're gonna be talking about today is going to be the black-eyed people, where they come from, um the like impacts and stuff like that it's made and whatnot, and like what it is and how it goes into pretty much everything else. Give me 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I pull this up. So just trying to this real quick. 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, the origins are mainly, I would believe, mainly from folklore and like that type of kind of spiritual side of things. Um, and the description is just, it can, at first glance, it could be women, men, or children, and their eyes are completely black, almost demon-like. Um, it's the like with the main thing being unsettling being the completely darkened eyes, no white, no iris, just completely black, which from people who have allegedly witnessed it reported feeling just sick to their stomachs or just full on paralysis, maybe from fear, maybe from other reasons. um a lot of the way that the encounters took place was maybe a knock on the door late at night. They would open the door and the person would be there. um as the saying goes, they would always ask to come in, never force their way in. um but and like requesting certain things of like, hey, I may have left something in this house, can I come in? Never asking, but always being like, I have an excuse to get in, can you let me in? And it's up to the person itself to either, let them in or not let them in. um folklore is just what happened anywhere, either like, let's say if you're driving on a highway. And this is kind of why I always say never pick up a hitchhiker or a person who's just standing on the side of the road, because you really never know what the person is or the person's intentions, because once you're in that car with them, it's just you in a car in an enclosed space and you can't really get out. But I digress. um so like, a lot of people have like allegedly cited like these individuals on the side hitchhiking, asking for rides, asking like, hey, can you take me to this place, can you take me here, can you take me there? um Maybe like if they're parked, maybe in a rearview mirror, people have sighted them just like in the rearview mirror. They look back, they're gone. um or maybe in a store or just anywhere where there's like public people, or when you're alone, because they're trying to ask you. But like in public is really rare, it's usually in an enclosed space. They're trying to get with you in an enclosed space to do something, you know so the main consensus of like what people think these are, a lot of people just scream demon, specifically in a lot of like, movies and stuff like that. When somebody gets possessed or something, their eyes roll back or their eyes turn black or red or another color, straight solid. So that's what I thought of as soon as I read the title of like of the black-eyed people, I first go for more of a demonic tone to it. A lot of people either say maybe aliens, you know. The typical conspiracy, either it's straight from hell or in space. It's um
Ooh.
and just kind of having this like, energy to them, like when you see them, like it's you seem off, like they're not real, like they're not people, like you sense that they're not people. They may have, the characteristics in the lookings of a person, but you know that they're not a person. Your body tells you that they're not a person, so that can cause um a lot of the symptoms of just like being completely lost, like shooken with fear, or just sick to your stomach. Like the uncanny valley is like the perfect descriptor of what that does, of what it's called. Um, you know, so like that's another reason of just like kind of why they're so, scary in the first place. Because from people's reports, allegedly, um, every single person described that uncanny feeling of like they're not real, and that wave of like fear and paralysis came over them when they saw the thing that their brain is telling them that's not a person. Like, I don't know if you've seen an image, or like mainly now kind of like comparing it to like AI that looks really real, but then you find out that it's not. That same feeling of like, what? And like that mind-blowing feeling is the same as what it here, but instead of like shock or like surprise, it's a negative feeling of like fear and just utter horror. Just kind of doing that comparison. Um, really shows up only in just like horror and just the paranormal and like ghosts and ghouls and whatnot. A lot of that type of media almost always has their eyes changing, because that's the first thing that people see when you see someone is their eyes, which I think is another reason of why it's been so culturally accepted that that's not okay, because everybody's eyes are more or less the same, just the color of the ring. But if the whole color is a different color, or if they're completely whited out, it gives people the heebie-jeebies because
No, I haven't read that in a minute. Heebie-jeebies.
uh,
Heebie-jeebies.
because they've a lot of people have been conditioned at a young age that that is just the signings of the devil, and it's bad and you're not normal. I think what scares a lot of people the most of things not being normal or being slightly off, because like it looks perfect on the surface, or like looks perfectly normal, but you can sense that there's something wrong and you don't know what it is yet. That's what gets a lot of people. And I think that's why this conspiracy and like these sightings and everything have been, I would say that these have been more not rare at all. Especially
Yeah.
since a lot of people who have watched these, maybe they are under the form of like they're not good mentally, and hallucinations and whatnot, and if they're consuming the media of all of that, they can see a person with the blacked out eyes and whatnot, of like something like that, and it freaks them out, like hallucinations and whatnot. So I think that's another like a lot of like the sightings in general of people going into a form of psychosis and seeing it, or like maybe doing some illicit drug and then tripping out and seeing them. That's another way that people may have like genuinely saw it, but it wasn't real because it was all in their head.
Right. So basically imagine this. It's late at night, you're home alone, and there's a knock at your door. You peek outside, and standing there, there's like two kids. Because usually they're actually two kids or like any type of form, right? Some type of human being. Maybe they're 9 or 10, whatever. And they're pale. They're usually just pale. And they're wearing like, most of the time, like old fashioned clothes. Or like all white, you know? Kind of reminds me of like The Grudge, right? But there's obviously something wrong when you first look at their eyes. I haven't really heard about other colors of the eyes, but it's more like solid black. It's usually just solid black. That's what the most of like people have talked about, but of course, I don't know, maybe there's other stories of people talking about, oh, maybe it's all white or all red, but most of the time it's all solid black. Um and it's just like staring at you. And they're always gonna ask politely all the time, and it sets people off, like, can I come inside? And it's like, it's kind of like they're rehearsing it, you know, like they have one rule to say and they can only say that, like, can I come inside? Or can I be with you, right? Number one thing, just don't let them in. Like, don't let them in at all. I thought it was pretty interesting because when I was actually doing research about this actually conspiracy, the first report actually came around Texas around like the 1900s, or no, 1990s. Relax, 1990s. And it was a guy named Brian. Basically swore that he got approached by two black-eyed children outside a movie theater. They asked for him for a ride home. He felt an overwhelming sense of like dread. Like, obviously these kids are not right. And his instincts were like, I need to scream. Like, imagine screaming at the kids, like, oh my god. But then he just had the gut feeling that he needed to run away. And then when he noticed like their eyes basically, he just drove off because he already knew like there was something going on with them. Since then, people around the world encountered children knocking the doors at 3 a.m., asking to use the phone, strangers appearing by the cars, like random cars at night. It's always the same thing though, like they're have black eyes and they're just wearing like fashion clothes or just like old fashioned clothes, or wearing all white, just like something spooky, something completely off. And like Thomas has said, a lot of people do believe that they're demons, and some people actually do believe it's like a hybrid, like demon slash aliens, which is kind of weird, you know. I was like, whoa, okay, we're trying to be a little different. And then others actually do believe it's like a government experiment gone wrong, which is pretty crazy to me. I'm just like, okay. But you know, pretty it's not an over exaggerating thing, because there is some things that the government does hide, right? And then later it's like release. So it can be something like that. But like I said, number one rule thing, if you hear something knocking at the middle of the night, I would definitely think twice before opening it, because it might be the black-eyed kids or something. So that's definitely spooky. Definitely be careful with that. Or just run away. Or run them over. Who knows?
Or just close your door.
Yeah, just close your door. Or just don't answer.
You know, yep. It's late at night. the Girl Scout cookie girls are not there yet, I'm gonna close my door.
Yeah, if they're not
I'm gonna keep it
offering
shut.
cookies, don't accept them.
As long as unless they're Thin Mints, then maybe it's debatable.
Debatable, yeah. But
Debatable.
yeah, that's pretty much of the. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty interesting that like the first actual story origin was around Texas around the 90s basically. And I think it was just like the outskirts of Texas, you know, and Texas is pretty big. So it was just in the outskirts. That's what I understood. And ever since then, throughout like the years, it's always the same. Like it's always in the outskirts. And if it is public, it's always like around 3 a.m. and when you're by yourself, you know? That's the only time. But yeah, overall, I think that's pretty crazy. As if anybody has ever encountered these type of people, please like definitely leave comments down below or whatever. I want to hear that story because I'm like, wow, really? Okay, pretty interesting. But yeah, should we wrap it up now?
Is there anything you want to talk about, Dan?
Let's go to Yap City then. I mean, I actually do want to save this story until next week because next week episode is, I think it's called Toxic Work. So that'll be very interesting. And I want to save it for that. But I don't know. There's nothing really going on that I know of personally. What about you?
um
Hey, welcome in.
Hello, Tyler. There's not really much. There's just been a decent amount of music. If anybody cares about this, I know it's been literally everywhere on the internet. Taylor Swift got engaged.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
I don't really.
I just heard
Yeah,
about that like literally 5 minutes ago.
yeah, I heard about it like this morning. Like I saw like the videos and everything, and as soon as I liked one of them, like the whole floodgates of like the Taylor Swift fan
Swift's.
like just came at me, and I'm like, oh my god, my For You page will never be the same ever again. I mean, honestly,
Shout out to her. You know, shout out to her. She finally okay, she finally committed, y'all. She finally committed. She's finally in there. Good for her. What a queen, you know.
I thought it was gonna take a little bit longer, but you know what?
Let her be
You know, there's never a distinctive like thing, you know, of like what time you should do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different, and it is different for everyone.
You never know. Maybe she comes out with a song like dissing her fiance or like her ex-husband or something. I know that's gonna be a bop. That's all I know. But yeah, shout out to her. Is there anything else about the Taylor Swift or anything?
I mean, my birthday's next week.
Thomas's birthday is next week. Thomas,
I can gamble now.
you can gamble, Thomas. It's a gamble. Yeah, next week. Yeah, that's very exciting. Yeah, your birthday's actually coming up really soon.
On Monday.
Awesome sauce.
Awesome.
Awesome. Honestly, I'm just trying to think of other things right now. I'm just like saving it. I'm saving these story, especially for next week's segment, episode 2, Toxic Work. I cannot wait to talk about it, guys. There's just so much stuff. I cannot wait to talk about it because it'll be safe to talk about it then. You know, right now I cannot talk about it at all, unfortunately. But next week, I'm gonna have the tea. It's gonna be mwah, very good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Anything else you want to say, Thomas, before I end it?
No, just I hope everybody had a nice time listening and whatnot, and hope you guys have a good night. We're going to be splicing this up and putting it on all our socials and whatnot, and that will be coming out in the next couple days. So watch out for that. Make sure to like scroll down the stream and like follow all of our socials and whatnot, and support us on all of that because we're gonna be posting stuff every single time, hopefully on Friday. I'm the one doing it, so bear with me if it's a little late. um so yeah, that's all. If you liked it, make sure to put a follow down. It would be super appreciated and whatnot, and all of that. I would like to thank our lovely host,
Hey.
for doing a great job and whatnot, and setting this all up and having a good time. Would you say this is a success?
Yeah, is actually recorded. So I say it's a
It's
great
actually
success.
recorded.
It's
Let's
actually a
go.
big success. Honestly, definitely shout out to Thomas, my co-host, of joining me. Um, Definitely could not do this without him or any of my co-hosts. Like, I shout out to them. They're very dear to my heart, and I'm very happy that they're here to support me because your girl cannot do this by herself. But no, shout out to them. Definitely we'll be posting videos and all that, clips and all that on Saturday. So you should be on YouTube, Spotify, just in case you just want to listen and you don't want to look and all that. And YouTube if you want to look the whole thing. Other than that, like, if you guys have any stories or anything like that, you can definitely message our Discord and all that in the server, and you can actually go there and then basically talk about Hot Mess Hotline or whatever the case might be, because it's definitely a segment I really wanted to work out in the future. So hopefully that works out. Other than that, thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a lovely night, and toodles. Bye bye.
This has been DearDiary. Bye bye now.
It's time to end the funny stream ending. Goodbye.
Funny stream.
Funny.
Funny.